Folks, we have a lot of important stimulus check information and Social Security news that you want to know, so continue watching this video. You don't want to miss out on it. Here are some new details for Social Security recipients. Some huge changes have been proposed for Social Security to strengthen the program. Social Security is a very important program. It's at a facing point, at which it will stop collecting more in taxes from workers, and then it needs to pay on benefits to retirees. This means that the retired benefits may be reduced and reduced by an estimated 20%, unless Congress does something about this. So Congress is taking action, which is promising. The change that most likely is about to happen to Social Security first will come after the Social Security Fairness Act, which was introduced by some Democrats. Now this bill has some 300 co-sponsors, everybody. It's a lot from Republicans and Democrats. It's good to see them finally working together to help out the American people with stimulus payments. And not only that, but listen to this. Another promising move came out of President Biden. President Biden's proposed budget for fiscal year 2023 aims to allocate around close to $15 billion to the Social Security Administration. It would be a 14% increase over the 2022 budget, and the proposed increase would actually help the Social Security Administration get more done, like processing claims more efficiently and dealing with issues more effectively. Customer service would also likely be improved. Then there is the Social Security 100 Act, and it's been introduced by Democratic Representative John Larson, and includes many proposed changes like increasing benefits by 2% to compensate for an adequate past COLA. The legislation would also set a new minimum benefit, 25% above the poverty line, this to help out the protect the low-income workers. But right now there's a threshold above which earnings are no longer taxed for Social Security. For instance, 2022 it's $147,000. So now the legislation includes lifting the cap, which will bring more money to the program. And now as inflation eases across the US, the record Social Security increase planned for 2023 could actually be much lower than expected. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the CPI, Consumer Price Index, rose 8.3%, and it decreased from 8.5% in July. It marks the second month in a row where the annual inflation rate decreased. With this recent CPI data, it showed that the Social Security COLA could reach 8.7% for 2023 instead of previously forecasted 9%. And while lower than prior forecasts, the COLA boost for 2023 will still be the highest since the 1980s. Now we know that President Biden is trying to help out the American people. And also a bill introduced by Peter DeFazio and Bernie Sanders would actually give beneficiaries an additional 12% each month. That's $200 more. President Biden is really trying to help out the American people, guys.
Local officials, community leaders have joined us today ever since the hurricane struck. Jill and I have had people in Puerto Rico on our minds and in our prayers. We came here in person to show that we're with you. All of America is with you as you receive and recover and rebuild. I'm confident we're going to be able to do all you want, Governor, and I'm committed to this island. Puerto Rico has been through so much in recent years. Hurricane Maria 5 years ago, a 6.4 magnitude earthquake 2 years ago. Folks slept outside for days, worried about their homes would collapse on them if they went in. Then COVID-19, and then Fiona. And yes, Puerto Rico is a strong place, and Puerto Ricans are strong people, but even so, you have had to bear so much and more than need be, and you haven't gotten the help in a timely way. And this latest storm dealt a serious blow to all the hard work that has been done since Maria. Roads and bridges built after Maria have been washed away again. Families who spent their savings to build new homes after losing their last ones have seen them flooded away. Crops decimated, farms destroyed. Here in Ponce and communities nearby have been hit the hardest. And for days, people live without power, without water, some still in that circumstance. No idea when to be back again. And for everyone who survived Maria, Fiona must have been an all too familiar nightmare. You know better than anyone that over time, these losses add up. And so Puerto Ricans have lost loved ones in this storm and in the perilous disasters. And the number can feel abstract sometimes when you hear a number, but every number is a person, every life lived. We read the obituaries and remembrances, and they all feel like people we knew. Doting grandparents, devoted parents, Christian children, longtime neighbors, people who cared about their community and made a difference. They will not be forgotten. And then through these disasters, so many people have been displaced from their homes, lost their jobs and savings, or suffered injuries, often unseen, but many times seen. Yet somehow, the people of Puerto Rico keep getting back up with resilience and determination. Quite frankly, it's pretty extraordinary when you're looking from afar. And you deserve every bit of help your country can give you. That's what I'm determined to do, and that's what I promise you. After Maria, Congress approved billions of dollars for Puerto Rico, much of it not having gotten here initially. We're going to make sure you get every single dollar promised. And I'm determined to help Puerto Rico build faster than in the past and stronger and better prepared for the future. And that's why I approved an emergency declaration in Puerto Rico before the hurricane. Governor, remember my call on you before the hurricane made landfall to deliver immediate federal funding to shelter people and provide essential support. Just a few days later, I approved an expedited major disaster declaration. That means federal government will cover 100% of the cost to clear debris and carry out search and rescue and continue to shelter people. It also means homeowners, renters, business owners are eligible to apply for federal help to recover damaged losses caused by Hurricane Fiona. The federal government is going to provide individual assistance for up to $37,900 for essential home repairs and another $37,900 for lost property as the law calls for, like a car or a refrigerator. Additionally, we've deployed more than 1,200 personnel from FEMA, the Army Corps of Engineers, the U.S. Coast Guard, the Department of Energy, the Environmental Protection Agency. They include search and rescue, teams to assist survivors, and power restoration experts. Power is now back, as you pointed out, governed at 92% of the island, and water is back at 95% of the island, thanks in part to the dedicated IBEW workers and federal support staff. Now we have to get to 100%. And here at this facility, you can see some of the generators from FEMA and the Army Corps of Engineers that were transporting to places that still don't have power. Here they're loaded onto trucks and brought to locations in hospitals and shelters, paired with fuel trucks so generators can be gassed up on site. My administration is also providing financial assistance to help families and individuals right away. Many families are scrambling to pay their bills right now to fill up their gas tank, to put food on the table. They can register at FEMA, cash assistance for $700 to help cover the essentials for just a little while. So far, nearly 200,000 households across Puerto Rico have received this cash assistance. $700 won't replace what you lost, not even close, but it can help take care of some of the little basics while you catch your breath and get back on your feet. And FEMA has made crisis counselors available when you're, whether you're a survivor or a first responder. If you need help or just someone to talk to, people...
Security, and people laughed it off. Oh, well, is that a serious issue? Is there really a connection there? And it's only been a few short years where people are, because of the extreme nature of it and the rapidity of the time that has passed in terms of the escalation of the issue, that people are finally understanding what you all have been working on for years.
There are some proposed changes to the next fourth stimulus package that Congress is debating right now. Economists and lawmakers have said this change might financially impact millions of people. The cost of gas is surging across the U.S., but drivers should not expect any action taken by the president. The White House is staring down a global energy crunch caused by domestic supply chains and energy commodities. Gas prices have blown past record after record in recent weeks. According to new data, the average gallon of gas in the United States hit around $4.06. Experts have told reporters that the United States has been experiencing high gas prices even before this year. After the scramble to bring down prices ahead of the midterm elections, the White House has reached out to the oil industry to inquire about reopening shuttered refineries. Experts say there is a small chance of that happening, and the Family Security Act proposed by Mitt Romney aims to cut child poverty by a third by providing most parents with monthly payments of $350 for each child under 6. It is similar to the temporary monthly payments to working families under the American Rescue. While Romney's proposal is similar to the previous program in that it will offer monthly payments to most parents, it will replace the earned income tax credit that low and middle income working parents receive.
Years and years and years. So thank you for that, and to everyone here. So as many of you know, I am a daughter of California. And as a result, many things have probably flowed from that, pardon the pun, but one of them has been I have been my entire life acutely aware of the reality of water scarcity. I remember I was, I think 12 in middle school, about that age, 13, when we experienced an
increase the base funding schools receive by $5 billion for the upcoming year and by $10 billion in 2024 through 2025. Nearly $5 billion will be directed to universities and community colleges for deferred facilities maintenance and expansion of student housing. Another $1 billion will be earmarked for preschool programs, everybody. So, do you think that President Biden is doing all that it takes to send out the fourth stimulus check? And if you found this video useful, then tell me in the comments down below. SNAP monthly benefits, everybody, are going to be changing in a big way for millions of you guys. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer have actually agreed on a new timeline for the new social spending bill. You want to watch to the end of the video to find out how to receive the fourth stimulus check. Without further ado, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer met to discuss the possible legislation on reduced gasoline prices. Leaders are hoping to pass legislation dealing with gas prices before the end of May, but would actually need Republican cooperation in the Senate to do so. The GOP is pushing for expanded fossil fuel production domestically, something progressive Democrats may be unable to support, and rising prices are a top concern for many voters, and many Democrats already face a tough road to holding on to control of the House and Senate in the November election. The Federal Reserve's preferred measure of inflation is estimated to have risen 6.7% in March from a year earlier. The average price for a gallon of regular gasoline is around $4.13. The American Rescue Plan has also provided an additional boost aid program for elderly citizens who might need extra help with groceries and food each month. The Commodity Supplemental Food Program provides low-income elderly individuals with supplemental nutritious food from the U.S. Department of Agriculture each month. According to the federal government, the monthly packages of food do not include whole meals and meal packages, but rather supply supplemental food products that are good sources of nutrients. The Commodity Supplemental Food Program supplies a variety of food like grain, oatmeal, and corn grits. Now, in order to be eligible for the program, individuals must be 60 years or older and must have household income at or below 130% of the federal poverty income guidelines published by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. The income guidelines are below for the 48 and the District of Columbia, but each state has its own guidelines for program participation and overall eligibility. In order to apply, you will need to contact your state's distributing agency, and the program is in addition to SNAP benefits. This means it's possible to receive SNAP benefits and still receive food packages. As part of the program, with the additional stimulus relief funds, around 760,000 elderly individuals now receive food packages. Food stamps have been around for almost 60 years, and the program is federally funded but administered by the states, providing eligible low-income individuals and families assistance to avoid food instability. It is the largest food assistance program in the country, and now saw participation soar by nearly 6 million during the crisis, now serving over 40 million people. Prior to the crisis, roughly 2 out of 5 beneficiaries were working families with an income. They now make up nearly half. More than half households that receive SNAP assistance are families with children, and the dollar value of benefits is determined by the size of a household minus a portion of their own resources that they are expected to use for purchasing food. Generally, it's 30% of the household's net monthly income, with certain necessities like dependent care, medical expenses, and shelter deducted. According to the USDA Food and Nutrition Service, currently average SNAP benefit per month is around $239. But the allotment ranges from an average of $193 in New Hampshire to $271 in Utah and South Dakota. Lawmakers propose an even larger monthly benefit increase for recipients. So, do you think that President Biden should increase Social Security?
Los Angeles and Long Beach moved 10 million containers for the first time ever. In my state, the state of Washington, the Northwest Seaport Alliance saw a 15% increase in container volumes over the last year. So this unprecedented volume continues to cause massive challenges of ships backed up offshore and vessels anchoring or loitering in waiting areas near the ports of LA and Long Beach. 22% of sales have been lost by agriculture exports due to transportation delays and cancellations with products like potatoes, milk, wheat, seafood. that are literally rotting on our port docks. My colleagues and I have been working hard to pass the